Okay, well, I've got my deck rented, ready whenever you are.
Yeah, I'm just Oh yeah, you can challenge me actually.
Okay.
I've got a hammer time loaded up. I'm gonna try and do it in the same order that we did.
We could maybe like come back to it at the end.
When losing another die roll.
Yeah, the twin curse. I mean, maybe you could unban twin if it just never gets to be on the play. Sounds fair.
You can unban a lot of cards if you had that stipulation.
I mean, I probably have to keep this, although this hand's not great against Hammertime. Caleb mulls the 6. Okay, it feels good to be on this side of the matchups finally, too. Because, yeah, I want to cast some twins. No 0-mana artifact creature is really nice. What about the mirror? There's no point in testing the mirror. Like, as far as, like, trying to figure out should twin be unbanned, which is, you know, the whole point of this stream. Like, that's not a useful data point, I think. Pretty scary. Like I always hit I feel like I always hit Min-Might off Ragavan against Hammertime. Like, yeah, like the twin, the mirror match, like my version versus Caleb's version would be fun maybe to play, but as far as like actually testing to develop an opinion on if twin should be unbanned, it's like just really not helpful, I think. So if I cast fire, then Caleb just gets to hammer in response. I think I'm supposed to let Caleb draw a card. It's close. Raven, thank you for the 15 months. Another Esper Sentinel. Hands Esper Sentinel, mystery card. I guess I can go Snap Fire on the Sentinels. They'll draw a card. Although I kind of feel like they might trade a Sentinel for a Ragavan here. Wait, Snap Fire Ice is bugged? Oh no. I totally forgot. Is it still bugged? Does anybody know for sure? I think that it is. Just do it. I mean, I think like I don't think I'm doing it immediately anyways. Yeah, yeah. Like I haven't heard that it's been fixed. So I'm assuming that it's bugged. Yeah. You just can't snap fire ice. I don't know. You used to be able to. Like it used to totally work, and it just doesn't anymore. Hands Luris, 2 mystery cards. After Twin got demolished by Hammertime. So Caleb's Twin list went 2 and 3. And then this is the very first game of me playing this version. I think I'm still attacking. And Caleb's draw seems to be a little clunky now. You go for a Spell Pierce, Snap Spell Pierce. I think I'll just go Snap Counter. I'm operating under the impression that Snap Fire Ice is still bugged, just so you know. So I'm just gonna play as if that's not a line, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still bugged. I'm pretty sure if you target Fire Ice with Snapcaster, you just can't cast the card.
In that case, I think Snap Counterspell's a better line.
For sure, for sure. I mean, what if they fix the bug? Well, if they fix the bug, somebody had better, like, you know, tell me. Instead of me, like, throwing a game, because it doesn't work right now. We found out Force Negation host. I mean, we died against Twin with, like, 2 Force Negation, or I guess 1 Rotting Force Negation in our hand last match. Couldn't you and Caleb just play as those signals aren't played? No, it's not a May trigger. It's also just a headache, right? Interesting block. That will turn 8 Spell Pierce. I think I'm just gonna not do anything. That's true, yeah. If I end up winning, then I will test the Snap Fire Ice. Yeah, I did know that Tog. Or Tob. So Snap Fire to 5. So I have another Fire Ice in my hand. If this works, it should be lethal, right? But it might. Let's just see if it's still bugged.
Yeah, I mean we can play that it's lethal.
Yeah, I just want to double check that it actually is still bugged, and yeah, it still is.
Okay.
But
yeah, yeah, she'll let that ink moth back, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
These round Snapcaster very specifically.
So remember getting the gut shots and the grudges. Then I probably keep all the combo pieces. I'm gonna cut the 4th counterspell, 3 Ragavans, and the Deluge. Gonna be Beautiful Keys coming up. I mean, this is just testing, right? This is not like a real tournament. Obviously, like the bug is a little awkward. I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. But yeah, maybe I should have just like not included Fire Ice in the list. I just totally forgot about the bug until now. Are moons a consideration? Not on the draw, I don't think. I think I might play them on the play, but I'm not a big fan on the draw. Will I change it for something else after the match? I don't know. I think probably not. The green is for Veil and Ancient Grudge in the side. Man, this is a beautiful hand. I'll keep. What made you want green for Veil rather than white for Ending? Honestly, like this matchup is the biggest part of me wanting green. It's like a Braid sucks against Hammertime, while Grudge is like pretty good, just being an actual 2-for-1. But Grudge is just very mediocre. I think I'm gonna bolt the Sentinel now. But that was the main thing. And it's also like I don't know like I don't really feel like necessarily that this deck is gonna want prismatic ending. I don't know. 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 I don't Alright, that ended up working out pretty well. I think it's pretty unlikely I play out a Snapcaster here. Any reason not to include a Team of Triumph? I mean, tap lands in your twin combo deck suck as well. Much rather just make sure all my lands enter on tap so I can curve out. And it's also true, like when you want to Veil of Summer or when you want to flashback Grudge, making sure like your green source enters untapped is pretty relevant too. I'm actually of the opinion that people just play way too many tap lands in. Or like I think that the Triumph is like very often not better than the Shock land. Okay, that's good here. It's insanely good. I could have maybe just run out the Snapcaster, but it might be better to try to ambush this in combat. I guess I shouldn't have got the tap pool here. Change I think for 2 months. I forgot that they had an extra mana. So we're pretty toast. Thank you, Andy. I think I'll run out a Snapcaster to jump block. We need to draw Ancient Grudge. And then we need to draw more stuff. Oh, don't move the hammer. Don't move the hammer. I don't think Caleb will make that mistake, but Caleb moves the hammer, the Hushbringer dies. Combat tap Hushbringer, then combo. Yeah, Hushbringer turns off the Exarch ETB. Oh yeah, that is funny. Sanctifier doesn't exile the bolt there because of the Hushbringer. Thoughts on Tarmogoyf? I can't imagine like wanting to play Tarmogoyf and like splashing a color for Tarmogoyf when you could play Ragavan, Dragon Rage's Channel, or Murktide Regent, like any combination of these cards. Like, I don't understand. Like I know Turbo Twin was a really fun deck at one point, but I don't anticipate it ever being a deck again. Pretty dead. Let's go to game 3. I think I want the 4th counterspell into play. Could maybe want another Ragavan too. I think I'll play 2nd Ragavan over 4th Snapcaster. Ragavan ramping you into twin. It doesn't ramp you into twin. If you go turn 2, hit your opponent with Ragavan, then on turn... Yeah, on turn 2 you can cast your Exarch, but then on turn 3 you can't cast twin because you've used your treasure token, so like you still... The earliest you can combo is still turn 4. Could you have E in the sideboard? I mean, I have Ancient Grudge for the matchup instead. You could play, yeah, you could play explosives for sure. Oh yeah, sorry, I wanted Blood Moon on the play. I forgot. Forgot that I wanted Blood Moon on the play. Although it is a bit awkward with these charms. Actually, I feel like against like their Saga draws, let's just twin combo them. Who cares about Saga? Do you have rules with Caleb of how many hate cards the board you can run? Well, me and Caleb both made this. We curated the same gauntlet, and we wanted to play like pretty much existing deck lists with the idea that we wanted to see like how twin would be in the current metagame, like with unaltered sideboards, to see if like the format would need to even adjust for twin being print legal, or if it would just be like largely fine and you could play some sideboard cards and you could not too. This hand's obviously like very good if like the 2nd Exarch or Pestermite is just a red source, but it's not, so we mulligan and we keep this hand. Then I think I put back the 2nd Charm, although I mean Charm is really good. Like it could also just be correct to put back the Exarch. But the combo is also nice here. Exarch can do some good work. Yeah, but also like if we played the Twin Gauntlet in a metagame that was like superly heavily metagame to beat Twin, then it wouldn't really. I think it just like wouldn't be good testing. Since like if you're just having a super metagamed like Hammertime list, if you have a super metagamed field, like Twin is gonna lose. Twin is not so good that like it cannot beat like 5 of the best decks in Modern heavily metagamed against it. Allegedly Fit French, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Okay, obviously should have put back the Exarch. Attack with just Sentinel. Hey, Evan. Does name Exarch with the needle. And Evan with the 20 months. Thanks, dude. Time really flies. Okay, so we just have to Ancient Grudge the Needle and untapping Twin to win. Okay, so it's gonna be like a little more complicated. So if I counter this, I get hammered for 12 down to 4. I think that's fine. Because I can Grudge the Needle, Flashback Grudge on the hammer, or vice versa. No hammer. Okay, obviously, like, that's the... Woo. Unless Caleb drew hammer off the silent clearing. Did not. You read an article about Splitter Twin? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, yeah, Grudge gets exiled by the Sanctifier. Okay. Okay, that made this line way worse, huh? Toby, thank you for the 3 months. Alright, let's go. Felt pretty good. Definitely was a close match.
Hey, GG's.
GG's.
Yeah, not actually getting any pressure together in that game 3 really hurt me.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. So I countered the Thoughtseize thinking that I could Grudge your Needle and Flashback Grudge on Hammer if he had it. But I didn't realize that Sanctifier exiled the Grudge, so I'm not even sure I was right to counter the Thoughtseize there.
I mean, did you have Twin in hand?
I did, yeah, but I think that like
seems correct to counter then.
Well, if you had Hammer, which it kind of seemed like you did, I think I lose the game. Because I have to spend the next turn grudging the Needle, and I think I just die.
Gotcha. All right. What deck did you play second? Blue-red?
Yeah, I think it was a blue-red second. Then Rhinos, then Control.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
List. Gonna look at that hand. Let's keep this one. Put back second Flooded Strand, probably. So is Twin kind of fair? That's what we're trying to determine, right? I'm trying not to go into it with too many... Like, I think anybody making, like, really hard sweeping claims, like Twin is definitely good to unban, or Twin is definitely bad. I think that it's really hard to, like, make a clear decision when all of our memories of the Twin deck is muddied by like 5 or 6 years at this point, and the modern format is almost unrecognizable from the time when Twin was banned. So we're just trying to play and see. But so far, I feel like the gameplay's been good, and the combo has not felt too strong. I don't think it was banned for power level at the time. People say that, but like, I believe that it was. Like, Twin was a really hard deck to play perfectly, but the masters of Twin were like, they were just, they could just always play the deck, and it was always like a really good choice with it to play it. Awkward to draw the 1 of Pestermite here. Obviously not that big a deal. Dude, this feels really good too. Like, at least I love that this is my hand right now, you know what I mean? Lightning Bolt is the exiled card. But if Caleb doesn't have play land, he's just dead. And I don't think there's any Force of Negations. Yeah, I think the list that we have doesn't have Force of Negation. Oh yeah, you saw the Twin from the bauble, right?
Yeah, correct. Maybe I should have let on it, and then maybe I don't even play expressive there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's also, if you have the burn spell in your hand. Although I guess I had the Pestermite. If you had Unholy Heat in your hand, you probably just have to try to find the land drop there.
Yeah, I had Heat and Bolt.
Yeah, that's definitely like the kind of feel bad game I think that Twin definitely can create. Yeah, so I want to go down a Twin, down to Pestermite, trim on Counterspell. I think I want to keep all the Ragavans. Might cut the 4th Fire Eyes, 2 Counterspells. I guess I cut the Spell Pierce too. I could play some amount of Flusterstorms though. Maybe we'll play 1 Flusterstorm over the 3rd Fire Ice on the draw. And play like more Fire Ice on the play. After the early game with both Counterspell and Charm in hand, would ever use Charm to counter first Counterspell? I mean, yeah, if you need the mana efficiency. When you trim the combo, when they have more interaction for the creatures, yeah. Excuse me. At least historically, that's how you do it. I miss Gyarados. Me too, dude. Me too. Alright, another mulligan. Alright, keep this one. Let's go ahead and put back the 2nd Steam Vents. I do have Veil of Summer in the deck, so I'm going to get the Breeding Pool with the Scalding Tarn. Caleb rolls to 5. It doesn't have a 1-mana creature, which I'm actually unhappy to see since I have the Gut Shot in my hand. Scours Mills Ragavan, Mills Lightning Bolt. And I didn't bring in the Ancient Grudges. I do have the Murktide Regents, though. That did make my hand a lot worse. Just gonna get the Snapcaster down, start beating down. I'll ice them. Yeah, we're trying not to have explicit hate cards in the sideboard. We're just trying to see like how would, if Twin like running against current metagame decks, no changes, would the format need to compensate? Would it just be largely okay? That's what we're trying to find out here. I think I'm just playing a 4/4 Murktide Regent. It's kind of anemic for sure. But yeah, like I feel like Torpor might just still be the sideboard card this deck plays, anyways. Caleb down to 10. Not to be acidic, what's the ultimate point of exercise? Just to get people to shut up? No. It's to like actually develop an informed opinion instead of just like a really strong opinion based on like the idea of a deck, you know, from 5 or 6 years ago. Because like everybody's got really strong opinions on like Twin being unbanned, but like actually sitting down and playing some matches to see what it would be like will give you a much better informed opinion in my, as far as I think. Also fun for sure. Yeah, also content, right? Draws 2. It's a really weird game. Caleb to 5. Okay, now I just need the other gut shot. The fanciest way to win a game.
Yeah, my opener, I had the decision between keeping the Archmage's Charm or Murktide. And I had the Thought Scour, so I don't know. I think the game plays out differently if I keep the Murktide. I would have been able to play it with Counterspell up on this turn and just like have a larger Murktide than you.
Yeah, I think when you're on the Multi 5, like you were, wanting to keep the Charm for the draw 2 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. On the other hand, like I didn't have the third lane for the Charm, whereas I could actually cast a Murktide on 2 lands. Maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe you're right. Maybe destroying 2 is still just better. The Scour probably gonna hit us a land drop. I don't know. I thought it was close though, because like your removal just doesn't hit, your removal just doesn't hit Murktide at all. It seems so important to actually like have from the blue-red side.
Yeah, but if I just have a counterspell, you know, and if you're all in on the, I guess did you also have the Torpor Orb in the opening hand?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a, you know, Twitter Splitter Twin and the Snapcaster that the orb blinked there.
I almost counted your Snapcaster.
Yeah, I wonder how different the game is if you do, honestly, because it dealt like 10 damage or something.
Some good chunk.
Are you ready for the next round?
I need to switch it over.
Okay.
I'm working on that now.
Take your time.
Sorry, I'm slow.
What's your impression of these two matches?
I mean, I think my draws were a lot worse than your draws.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Like, I absolutely agree. I feel like there's not that much to like really glean, you know what I mean? Where it's like your draws were like definitely subpar both matches, and mine were pretty functional.
What did you play third? Did you play Rhinos or the blue? You played Rhinos third. Yeah,
Rhinos.
Because I won the last 2. Yeah, okay. I have not played a ton of Rhinos, but I've played against it a lot. It seems fairly intuitive.
Yeah, it's not that hard to just pick.
That chat was actually one of the reasons that I didn't want to play Pestermite. I also just like have a lot of flashbacks of Pestermite like not doing anything where a Deceiver would. Back last time it was around, the Bolt format.
Yeah, I feel like the first copy's good in theory, where you kind of like to have more creatures than you have twins, just like, but I think that, you know, you talking about the Memory Deluge just being so good in this deck, and I absolutely agree. I could definitely see just in this version playing the second Deluge over the first Pestermite, and that just being the better way to build the deck.
Yeah, I really wanted to squeeze in a second Deluge.
think I'm just casting Ragavan. I hate dashing Ragavan on turn 2 in this matchup. If I had this in my opening hand, it's also so much better. But like, yeah, dashing in this early in the matchup has always been something I don't like. Which I guess this is the twin deck. I'm playing twin against Caleb's Rhinos right now. Okay, so I think I'm gonna upkeep tap here. And just like stopping the Rhinos player from actually getting to play a 3-drop on turn 3 is pretty huge. I don't have land number 4. Caleb's deck is also a deck with 4 copies of Force of Negation in the main deck, so it's kind of hard to play around, right? Rhino's not coming down this turn. So I'll go for the Snap Consider. If Caleb has Violent Outburst plus Force blue card, probably lose this game. I think I'll attack with the Snapcaster. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to jam the twin here. Maybe I am, but it's just so bad against Petty Theft, right? And then here, we might bait out a Force of Negation from Caleb. Maybe I should attack with the Exarch too. I guess I just should have. How's Twin performing? Caleb's Jeskai version with 2-3, and then I'm currently 2-0 with the blue-red, but also like Caleb's draws were pretty awkward. You know, at the end of the day, like even like these 10 matches are just truly not a big enough sample size to have a great impression. Keeping up the snap charm here. I'm gonna snap steal a Rhino. Then you could probably save Jeskai or blue would likely be a better deck. Maybe, I guess. But it's also like the Jeskai version or the blue-red version will be metagame calls anyways, so it's like you probably can't. You could probably say which would be better right now, but probably not which would be better overall. I do feel like this game has been like a super duper like I remember games like this really well, where just like the threat of twin dictates the entire game. I feel like we haven't really been experiencing that as much in our earlier matches, but like I feel like this game, like me just like possibly being able to twin the Exarch at any moment, I feel like it's informed so many of Caleb's decisions. This card's third Footfalls Fire Ice. Alright, so I actually, well, we're so cold to Brazen Borrower if we cast the twin. I know I could maybe just have main phase ice the Rhino. Yeah, but I'm actually kind of happy if I get to do this. And then I can try to maybe castle Vantress into a counterspell. That's the fourth Footfall, so any more Cascade spells are pretty dead. Didn't cast the Bone Crusher. You'll look at your graveyard after drawing Snapcaster Mage. We just have a Bolt. We can't snap the Fire Ice. I'm going to bottom it. Okay, so my opponent cannot. They're out of crashing footfalls, so it's pretty safe to just attack here. Huh. Weird. I think I'm gonna cast it. I think my opponent's got force, so I'm just gonna Spyro. I think I'll discard the Fire Ice for an extra token rather than deal 2 damage. I don't think I would do this either unless Caleb was out of crashing footfalls, where like I feel like I'm just so likely to be able to win a fair game too. Yeah, like if Caleb wasn't like just like again out of footfalls, if like this play makes no sense. And then you see Caleb did have the force of negation for the twin. Yeah. Endurance and Violent Outburst. Okay, Violent Outburst had no crashing footfalls to hit, and this is game 1, so no endurance. Okay, that was a really weird game.
Yeah, I was telling Chad that you don't normally draw 3 out of 4 crashing footfalls. It's not a normal draw for the Rhino deck.
Yeah, and then I feel like I'd never cast the Season Pyromancer unless you're out of footfalls, because that's kind of the only way I win like the fair on the ground game. Probably want Murktide Regent too, right? Regent's pretty good. I guess Fire Ace is pretty strong in the matchup though. Play 1. Yeah. I feel like the game was a really good like showcase of just like the threat of the combo dictating the entire game. The twin combo won a game? Yeah, we won. Yeah, we've won I think 3 games with this version with the twin combo. Why are there no iterations? Yeah, the idea is you're playing more at instant speed. I definitely think you could build this deck with iterations, of course. I think it's like a totally reasonable way to build the deck. Alright, Caleb Bolt to 6. Pretty easy keep. Wasn't Twin not even broken when it was banned? I mean, I don't know. It's obviously like, I think that they made a huge mistake by putting that line of text in the interest of competitive diversity. Twin is banned, you know, because I really view like you could also argue that that Top Miracles was banned for the same reason in Legacy, that since he's dividing top. And the Miracles deck was banned for format diversity, for gameplay, not diversity, for gameplay reasons, because top makes rounds last a really long time. But it's also like Miracles was the best deck in Legacy, not by a lot, but if you were a master of of Miracles, like you really just got your decisions were so much more impactful than any decisions your opponent made, that it just didn't really matter that like your matchups weren't completely lopsided. Like your decisions are just so much more impactful than your opponents, that you could like the best Miracles pilots could just outplay anybody. And I think the same was true in Modern. Like your decisions playing the twin deck were so much more impactful than than playing almost any other deck, that you were just the best players were more rewarded for twin than playing any other deck. And you know, that might sound like a good thing if you're playing twin, but it can get a bit old, like playing literally any other deck in the format. And so I would say that that's like a better way to phrase, in my opinion, like why twin was banned. But and again, I do really think they made a mistake phrasing the twin ban the way they did. Sounds like Hogak ban logic. No, Hogak is just freaking broken. Alright, so I can find Veil of Summer or Flusterstorm off the Consider. I can just point all at the disputes. Feeling pretty good here. Yeah, I don't use the word broken lightly when I describe cards. If you watch the stream, it's very rare for me to call something broken, I think. But yeah, Hogak is a broken Magic card. The card is incredibly poorly designed. It should never have seen the light of day. All that jazz. And it's also like even at like why did Hogak have trample? You know, like why like it's like the combination of trample and Hogak being castable from the hand and it being a freaking 8/8. It was just like so much on the card. All right, so if we draw a land, it's pretty safe to go for twin or a 1-mana protection spell. Guess I'll dash the Ragavan, which is kind of like a land. Oh, I guess we could just attack for 5 next turn. You think if Hogak didn't have trample, it'd still see play? Yeah, Hogak without trample is like a really, really good card. But like the fact that like you just could never beat it in combat, it was I think really miserable. Yeah, also it being hybrid mana was a really big mistake as well. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with that point too. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Caleb's hand is like all answers for the twin combo, so I'm just gonna, you know, continue to just attack with the monkey. It's fine. Yeah, monkey greater than twin. Yeah, I think the trend of you drawing like in bottom 20% of draws has continued.
Yeah, that was miserable. I was just saying, like, I think literally, like, I haven't played a ton of Rhinos, but I've played against it a lot. And I think, like, literally every single Rhino player I've ever played against would have, like, fired off 3 Cascaders at that point or something.
Yeah, if you remember how well I drew against you, like I top decked, I just drew all gas the whole time, including double borrower for the win. It had to be like close to exactly double borrower.
And here I'm, like, hitting land drop number 7 on time and got a couple spare. Got a couple ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway. But that's Magic, right? That's part of it.
For sure, for sure. Melissa, thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription.
And you've been playing a while. That always helps too. All right. Elementals and then blue-white X.
I think I did blue-white first, but, you know, whatever you want to do first.
Keep it in the same order. I don't know why. I prefer to keep it in the same order.
Yeah, I think these are the two matchups that my version is going to be worse than your version against.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll keep this on draw.
And keep this Bin of Seas. And just tutor up a Triome on one here.
You're not muted, Caleb.
Oh, my bad.
How'd you recommend sideboarding? Alien, I wrote a sideboard guide and deck guide for the Urza Saga deck on Channel Fireball. If you want to check it out, there's a sideboard guide there. I can't remember exactly how my sideboard plan was there, but I've also found that matchup to be pretty good. I'm going to hold the Cascade Bluffs for a little bit to play around a second Spreading Seas. Fran, thanks for the raid, dude. Yeah, Caleb's playing blue-white control now. Yeah, Caleb beat me twice on Jeskai, but Caleb is 0-3 playing against my twin deck at the moment. But Caleb's draws have also been, like, heinous. So snap counterspell here does stop me from being able to snap charm, but uses my mana pretty efficiently, gets a threat into play. You might be playing better. Caleb's draws were like objectively like in bottom 20% of like I think all 3 matches Caleb's draws have been like especially poor. And then I think I don't want to play the Pestermite probably until I draw Twin, because then I play a little bit too much into Supreme Verdict. There it is. Do I get to play it with 2 counters up? Just one, just one. So maybe I could wait till I draw 1 more lands. Yeah, it's also definitely true. Like, yeah, these 8 matches are not really that significant for sure. So if I cast the Pestermite here, okay, well, I'll cast the Pestermite here. If Caleb goes Solitude, then good beats. Caleb has the Solitude right now too. Pretty gross. Feel dirty about that one, huh? Yeah, knowing that Caleb's on like a lot of Dovin's Vetoes and Solitudes, I don't think I want the Flusterstorms. I think I will play the Murktides though. How's the stream been? Has Twin felt good so far? This version, I don't know. It's been a bit weird. Where like Caleb's version felt like very fair, like a very interesting, controlling way to build the twin deck that didn't seem too good. Felt very, very fair. We've kind of crushed Caleb so far with this deck, but Caleb's draws have also been like notably poor with Hammertime, Rhinos, and Ragavan. So it's been like this like second match set has been really weird. Like kind of hard to draw like hard conclusions. Yeah, I like Grixis Twin a lot too. The Grixis Twin was the version of Twin I played at FNM. Did you test Tarmo Twin yet? It's no. So people keep asking me about Tarmo Twin. Nobody's given me a compelling case for why Tarmo Twin would be any good. Where it's like Tarmogoyf is not a better threat than Ragavan, Channeler, or Murktide. Tarmogoyf is a fine card, but Tarmogoyf is also worse in blue decks compared to black decks with discord spells usually anyways. But it's like Tarmogoyf does not seem worth splashing to me, at least by itself. I would need to have like a really strong case made for Tarmogoyf. How's Twin Filter overall? Powerful? Yes. Yes. I would say so. And like I feel like more so in this deck than Caleb's deck. It's been a long time since I felt that threat of Twin, you know? Like it really has been warping all of Caleb's plays. And like, you know, like cards like Archmage's Charm, like I feel like specifically Archmage's Charm. Ooh, bummer. Like this card is just so good to like hold up 3 mana. Your opponent's trying to leave up interaction. You just get to draw 2 cards. I feel like that's a really big deal. Maybe I should have brought an Ancient Grudge for Chalice actually. Now that I think about it. Kyle, thank you for the 3 months. Okay, Rest in Peace, does stop my Snapcasters, my Murktides, but I think ultimately is not that bad here. I think I'm gonna pass. I think I'm a little too worried about Teferi to just cast Ragavan here. I could Veil of Summer in response to the Teferi cast, I guess, but then Caleb just pluses. Yeah, Rin 6 and Twin is definitely something that might happen. I can hear in the hand, so now I'm gonna consider. Yeah. I remember the Patrick Dickman Tarmo Twin. Like, I also really like that deck, but it's just like I don't think it's coming back, guys. All right, so I think I am going to. I dash Ragavan. That extra mana is really nice. I'm gonna cast. Because the Veil of Summer doesn't protect from Solitude, so I kind of want to get a little bit of extra mana off the Ragavans. Exarch untap Ragavan was even better. I disagree. I'm not casting Twin into open mana on the following turn. And I will have no protection. Although I might just tap the Kihira. I think I'll counterspell. Use my mana this turn. That line is also like very soft to Verdict. That line is soft to Teferi potentially. I guess maybe not so much Teferi. Resolve. I know I tapped the breeding pool, but I did it so on purpose to like make Caleb think that I don't have Veil of Summer. And I could Veil of Summer off the treasure if they have dispute here. I think I'm also gonna cast Pestermite. Caleb knows I have Murktide in my sideboard, Fran. That's why he brought in Rest in Peace. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go for it here. I think that Solitude is really likely, though. That's a 2 for 2. They pitched Dovin's Veto. We get to kill the Jace. Okay, I can't kill that. Think Castle's better than Lighthouse? Yes, and I mean, part of Castle being better than Lighthouse is that it taps for blue, right? Like, it's not just a concession for color needs. It's tapping for blue in your Archmage's Charm counterspell deck is hugely relevant. There's no way Caleb's not really thinking about minusing here, right? Okay, well, I feel like I don't like the minus very much, but I guess like I get not wanting to die to Twin. I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's easy for me to say that because I don't have the Twin in my hand too, right? So I do want to scry that Pestermite away because I've got all these Exarchs. I feel like that's why Twin is so good. Yeah, absolutely, Fran. Like, I think I personally, and I think maybe, at least I can't speak for everybody, but I have felt like I've forgotten like what it's like to just have a Splinter Twin in your deck or play against a Splinter Twin deck. It like really does change the way the game is played so much. I also wonder because like back when Twin was legal in Modern, I was playing Modern, but I was still like very new to competitive Magic. Like my first like Magic events were with Grixis Delver, which was Caleb's Grixis Delver deck, were like my very first matches of Modern ever. And I don't think I was maybe a proficient player at the time, but my understanding of the game was still like somewhat limited compared to what it is now. And it's I don't know, man. Gotta be,
GG's, but the Ragavan pressure has been like pretty unreal. Like
yeah,
giving you the ability to like twin like with like a pile of mana up has been pretty insane.
yeah. I agree. Ragavan seems bananas here. I feel like Archmage's Charm too. Just like on that turn 3, you're holding up removal spells. Just being able to draw 2 has been pretty powerful as well.
Yeah, that's sweet. I also like didn't really draw any card draw from the blue white side. Like I can't like just fire off Archmages of my own if I don't draw that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, that matchup seems really interesting and nuanced. I think that if Twin were legal, like maybe ooh, the awkward breeding pool Ragavan. We could try to consider into a red source. I think I'm gonna mulligan though. Alright, a little more mana woes, but this hand's keepable. We are playing against elementals. I think I'll put back the counter spell with that in mind. The Fire Ice is like pretty good on turn 2, assuming Caleb plays Sprawl. I mean, it's gonna be good on turn 2, I think, either way. This Red Sea play again. Yeah, there are obviously going to be metagame changes if Twin were legal, but I think the big idea that what we wanted to do here is like, if you just stick Twin in the established metagame, especially seeing that there are already a lot of main deck cards that are good against the Twin combo. Solitude, Unholy Heat, main deck Needle out of like Hammertime, main deck Force of Negation out of Rhinos. There's a lot of main deck cards that are good against the Twin combo without needing to warp much. So like just seeing like if Twin gets, how it does in this environment that doesn't change is kind of the more interesting thing. And it seemed very at least the blue red version has seemed really, really scary. I think I will counterspell this. I only have 2 Cascade Bluffs in the deck. They're a bit awkward here where I can't main phase consider necessarily. Shouldn't be that big a deal. What do you think of having main deck Blood Moon in the Twin list? I feel like Charm and Blood Moon kind of are a bit awkward, but I mean, you absolutely can build the deck that way, and it would just be one of the many different ways to build the deck, of course. I think I will graveyard that. Scalding Tarn's the draw. Did Rhinos or Blue White pick up a game the last 2 matches? I don't think so. Wait, have I really not lost a game against Caleb? Yeah, I think maybe I haven't lost a game against Caleb with this deck. Maybe I have. Oh yeah, Hammertime got a game, that's right. Alright, Solitude or Bust. How's the Solitude? Yeah, Justice for Caleb. Into Omnath. Jeez. Pretty scary. Yeah, let that go. Do you take that gamble 100% of the time? In that exact spot, yeah, I think jamming the Twin there is totally fine. Caleb has like 4 cards in hands. Hasn't like had time to tutor. Like, and also like the thing about this deck is like Solitude is just kind of gonna get you, I think, at some point. So running into it, I don't think is that bad. So I'll probably tap the Omnath. Yeah, it's a 2 for 2 in that spot. Like, you know, it's a like I spent 7 mana and Caleb spent 0, but it's not the end of the world either in that exact spot. What does this attack mean? I don't think it means anything because we can, like, Fury doesn't change the attack here. Oh, right. I forgot what we have. I think we have 1 main deck lightning bolts. I'll just let this go. All right. Interesting. Also interesting. I probably Exarch again here. I have 7 mana. I could also flashback Deluge and take 8. I think this is fine. Okay, I'm gonna snap Counterspell. Yeah, these games just also go so differently. This happened when I played the elemental side of the matchup too. Like I just couldn't find Cavernous Souls, and neither can Caleb, I guess. Okay, so don't have Twin. Do you have a Deluge? Deluge seems sick in this deck. I think so. We were talking about maybe playing if we were gonna build this deck again. I might consider cutting like either the 4th Snapcaster or the 1st Pestermite for the 2nd Deluge. Would take 5. I think Twin misses cards like Cryptic or Electrolyze. They just relics of the past. Yeah, those are relics of the past. You know, like Twin like is a really high mana deck right now. Like your curve is really high already having the Twin combo. You can't afford to play more clunkers like Electrolyze and Cryptics. Your curve's just way too high. We get the Solitude, the Exarch. Take Twin, probably. So I'm down 2 Exarchs. Look here. I feel like I need to take the Bolt to then draw into a creature. So I can Bolt the Kahira, then block Omnath, Bolt Omnath. Let me go ahead and draw off Consider. I can also Twin Snapcaster Mage. Seems fine. I haven't done this in years.
My God, the volume.
Pretty good. Oh yeah, I guess I could. I mean, yeah, double bolting Omnath was probably better there. I agree. Okay, Caleb was tapping mana, and very few things are like okay for us here, but that's definitely one of them. Jeez, this feels good. Oh man, I feel like this game and a few other games have really done a good job showing why people want Twin to be unbanned. They want to be able to do this. But like this is a game where we had our Exarch solituded, you know? We put a twin on an Exarch, it got solituded for 0 mana, my opponent resolves Omnath. And we're still just like super ahead. I mean, they also didn't draw Cavern of Souls. Like this game probably ends if, you know, Caleb has a cavern, but this is definitely a scary game. Oh, and I guess maybe we're just losing anyways. This is like Twins' best matchup? Absolutely not. I feel like I would say that this is one of Twins' worst matchups of the lineup we have. Dead. Okay, we did lose though. We did lose.
Hell of a game.
Yeah, that was crazy. How do I sideboard though? So what the Blood Moons? These Omnaths are really terrifying. I think I need to counter spells for the Pitch Solitude. Sporting Murktide to overload the Solitudes. I don't hate it. I don't hate the suggestion. Let's try it. Kovo, thank you for Twitch Prime. Yeah, Caleb's playing Elementals right now, and Caleb is up a game. Yeah, Cobra Game Fire. We still have 4 bolts. Yeah, I agree that Elemental seems like it's probably one of the best decks against Twin. And I don't know, that game we were really ahead. We were really ahead, and then, you know, obviously lost in the end, but we were really ahead for a game where we had our Deceiver Exarch. You know, when we went for the Twin Exarch combo and they solituded me, like we were like staggeringly ahead, staggeringly ahead for a game where that happened. It was really much back and forth, but I'm just like, Murktide is just as soft to Solitude. Yeah, but the thing is, like, our deck is really cold to Solitude, so like bringing in Murktide and it dies to Solitude maybe will let us combo with Twin, right? Yeah, Streets ahead. Okay, they actually seem like they've got a pretty decent draw against Blood Moon here. If I Blood Moon, I don't get to... I guess I'll counter that. If I Blood Moon, I don't get to cast Charm probably for a long time. I think we would then if we double bolt Omnath instead of bolt Tikihira. No, because they had another Omnath that they legend rolled. It actually ends up being like worse for us. Alright, they revealed Omnath, so I think I need to ice their forest here. I think I'm gonna wait a turn on the Blood Moon. And then I think I will Exarch tap the forest and upkeep to play around Cavern on the Omnath. And maybe we could find a fetch land for our 3rd island, right? Alright, I guess I'm jamming Blood Moon. So Caleb paused there. Does that mean Caleb has Force Negation and Basic Island in hand? Yeah, that's worse. Like, it kind of seemed like Caleb was like thought about forcing that, decided not to. So I wonder if maybe I'm just reading way too much into the pause. Guess I should have bolted pre-combat because now the Harbinger can block my Exarch. I guess that's not super relevant. Notably, I would snap Ice here if Fire Ice and Snapcaster were not bugged together. You know, you can infer what you will about how that impacts the testing of this, this stream. If the whole data set is corrupted because of the bug, then then so be it. Steal the Utopia Sprawl. I don't have triple blue, but does that actually work? Stealing Sprawl? I don't think Stealing Sprawl does anything. I'm even trying to figure out of like a weird scenario where it does do something. Stealing Sprawl destroys it. Enchant Forest. Nope, it's still a forest. It's not a forest you control, right? Hold on, we've talked about this before. I'm trying to remember. I guess I bolt the Harbinger. Pitch Solitude, exile Pestermite. Don't have lethal next turn. Utopia Sprawl on blue. So now they can get Omnath down. They're dead to Bolt, Fire, Snapcaster, and probably that too. Lots of lethal draws. That's not one, but it ain't half bad. Risen Reef, floating a white mana. Okay, weird game. So Caleb brought in Rest in Peace.
Yeah, my chat asked me how I should beat a Blood Moon when I was sideboarding, and I was like, fetch basics. I didn't play a fetch and lost a Blood Moon. Oh man.
Well, I think that your Windstorm Teeth couldn't get you the island you needed, right?
I had 2 fetches in hand. I had a blue fetch.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I just played a tapped Stomping Ground the turn that you played Blood Moon.
Yeah. Do I side out the Blood Moons? Probably not. Let's just resubmit. Yeah, this is for the clean 5-0 with Twin. Against, obviously very, very intense gauntlet. I feel pretty disadvantaged on the draw, though, in Game 3. Trophy prediction? Okay. We should have done this earlier. It's going to be a really quick prediction. It's gonna be like 1 minute to get your votes in. Go, 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 go. So Blue Red Twin is just Murktide with the side of Twin combo. I've got the Murktides on the side. I don't think it's good to main deck them, but it could be. Could maybe main deck 1. Yeah, Trophy Leader in the Pretend Modern League. The very exclusive Caleb and Aspiring Spike League. I might be the Trophy Leader. Twin needs to come back so Rakdos Charm can have its day in the sun. Dude, Rakdos Charm versus Twin was so funny because it's like whenever you played against someone with black and red mana up and you were Twin comboing or you had Rakdos Charm, the person with Rakdos Charm had to pretend like they've never seen the Twin combo before. So it's like, okay, so you enchant Deceiver Exarch with Twin, and then what happens? Oh, you make how many Deceiver Exarchs? What? You can do that how many times? how many Deceiver Exarchs do you make? And then it's like, okay, Rakdos Charm, deal you infinite damage. Tree Doctor 17 months. And so like if you're playing Twin and your opponent like was doing that, you're like, okay, they have Deceiver Exarch or they have Rakdos Charm, so if the Twin player just had a higher life total, which it did a lot of the time because like John had like a really painful mana base and like Bird had Twin and stuff, like you would just like, you know, make like 17 Exarchs and kill them. You know, or if you had Pestermite, you only had to make like 10 Pestermites, and you know, Rakdos Charm didn't actually do anything. See, they're using blue red tempo instead of Jeskai. Do you think blue red better? Yeah, we wanted to play against more established decks, rather than just like the versions of decks Aspiring Spikes think is the techiest and the best at the moment. But it was just so funny, the dumb dance you had to do. You just always had to pretend like you've never seen the Twin combo before, and it would just happen every tournament. And I was the one on the Rakdos' Charm side of things pretty often. This hand's pretty bad, but we have to keep. I was on the Rakdos Charm side of things pretty often. I played a lot of Grixis Delver at the time, and I maybe I oversold it. I probably did, but I know I definitely just like got very good at this dumb sub game of trick your opponent into making infinite tokens. What decks were tested? So so I'm playing a blue red version. Caleb played a Jeskai version. Both of us are playing through the same gauntlet, and the gauntlet is Hammertime, Rhinos, blue white control, elementals, and blue red Ragavan. Yikes. You cannot make infinite tokens. Yeah, I know, like that's also part of the conversation. I know it's not infinite tokens, but that's the next part of the conversation. It's like, okay, wait, so you can't actually make infinite tokens. How many tokens do you make, you know? You trick them into going, okay, I'll make 1,000,000 Pestermites or whatever. Everyone had a dumb number that was like super unique and quirky to them. A number of tokens that they would make, and you know, you would just be like, okay, how many tokens do you make? It was just dumb. But then people eventually started to, you know, get the read that they were picking up on what was going on. All right, flood on this mold 6. Yeah, 42069. Yeah, but everybody had their own number. That was like, I don't know why. It was just, but right, like people always had their own number of tokens they would make, and it was like their flair on the combo, I guess. Yeah, Googleplex, you know. Okay, well, I mean, I don't, my hand's like terrible, so I'm going for it here. Let's go!
Oh man, that game was uncomfy.
Yeah, what was your hand?
My hand here is Second Teferi, Muldrifter, Risen Reef, Engineered Explosives.
Yikes.
So, like, I kept the hand that had both those lands, and I was like, if we hit a second untapped land, I get to play Teferi on 2. And probably just win off of that, and then like you can't interfere, like you can't tap me on my upkeep and stuff, and and I could like just land the explosives and not care about the combo either. But yeah, obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah, it was a really weird game. My hand was, I mean, obviously my hand was really floody, and I just top decked the Twin and YOLO'd it.
Yeah. If I had one of the 4 Solitudes, I think I brought in all 4 of the Force too.
Yeah, I remember when I played against you with elementals, I died with Force of Negation in my hand. It's kind of, I feel like I'm not sure how good Force is actually in the matchup, but yeah. But it's something that you would have to like end up testing over like.
It lets you tap out.
Yeah.
I think it's worse against the Jeskai version because the Jeskai version has Teferi.
Yeah, I think so too.
Whereas like you don't have to ferry, so I think forced negation gets a lot better. It's just like then you have 8 cards where you can tap out
Hmm.
instead of just 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you might like figure out that like 6 mana pitch cards is the sweet spot to be against Twin, or like 7 after testing a lot, but it's just kind of hard to know for sure in the small
Hmm.
sample size.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like my impressions of the Twin combo right now, it's like I liked the gameplay against your deck. I thought the gameplay uh, against the Jeskai version was really interesting and engaging. When I was playing with this blue red deck, I feel like the looming threat of the Twin combo was kind of, it made gameplay worse. And obviously, like, I also won all 5 of these matches. I don't know how much you're supposed to read into like still a small sample size like this, but
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of those matches, like it's hard to like say too much.
yeah,
I was telling chat like the difference in our draws with the Rhino deck was like the most exaggerated, right?
I yeah yeah I probably had like
Where like
top 5-10%. You had bottom 5-10%.
right. For some of these matches, like I agree with you though. The most frustrating thing for me wasn't like losing to twin combo or like the threat of the twin combo. The most frustrating thing, especially because like a lot of the decks that I'm playing over here have Teferi, so that shuts off a lot of the twin like instant speed thing. If I manage to resolve it, the frustrating thing for me was that match with like Ragavan and then just like having really rancid draws a few times.
Hmm.
I don't think my draws with the blue-white control deck were very good either. I also wasn't like happy with all of my decisions, but anyway, all that's
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to digest, and it's obviously like really hard to make any sweeping decisions or
hmm.
opinions on this on like 2 leagues, but
But you can say some general stuff.
yeah, like
And
yeah,
the general
I feel
oh
way more
sorry.
informed about my thoughts now than I did earlier today.
Right. I think like in general, you wouldn't be able to say that Twin is stone unplayable
Hmm.
from these matches. It hasn't felt that way at all. It seems like it would be like at least a presence in the metagame, if not like a tier 1 deck.
Yeah,
Despite the
I
fact
agree.
that
I agree.
Solitude is in the format and there's a bunch of Torpor Orbs in the boards and Hushbringers and stuff. It wouldn't be I don't think it would be too good because of all of those things, but it's not like it wouldn't go it's not like it would go unplayed. Like they unbanned Bitter Blossom and it just did like stone nothing. It wouldn't be that. It
Yeah,
would certainly
I, I
be a presence.
I agree. I feel like too good is also really hard to define, especially in a format like as diverse as modern. But
Hmm.
I tend to have the philosophy when you're talking about unbanning cards that not only does the card unbanned not need to be like immediately a tier 1 deck or immediately really oppressive, but the gameplay also has to benefit from an unban. You know, I think that you
Sure.
need to take a much more conservative approach to unbans as opposed to bans where there's just not that much harm with leaving something on the ban list as opposed to, you know, putting something on the ban list. You have to be a bit more proactive because cards that are legal in the format are obviously impacting gameplay a lot more.
Yeah, could you imagine if they unbanned Twin? All the people that used to love Twin like flock to the format, rebuy all their cards, rebuy Ragavans, and then it
Mm-hmm.
ends up like dominating and they have to ban it again. Like that'd be so miserable.
Yeah,
There's a huge like risk reward there.
when they unbanned Grave Troll and rebanned Grave Troll because it was too good. That was, I think, one of the most one of the worst things that's happened to the format. I think when a card gets unbanned and rebanned, it's a really really bad thing to happen to a format. And I would obviously want any unban to be like very very carefully considered, and whoever is
Hmm.
in charge of the unban, I'd want them to test it a lot more than we have here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't have to speaking of testing and stuff, you don't have to answer me now. Would you want to do something similar to this on a different week? Maybe try out Pod.
Yeah, pod is really interesting. I was thinking that we could do like a Yawgmoth pod and then like a Kiki pod.
I like that idea. Yeah. Two very different like approaches. And then the Yawgmoth pod would be able to have like more of a toolbox
Yeah.
than it currently has. And Kiki pod would I think it gets the addition of like one more kill because of a couple new cards that were printed
Hmm.
than what it used to have. Like it can win from having a mana dork now. It didn't used to have that.
Yeah, and yeah, because of It's not thought monitor. Corridor monitor is like the real big
Yeah,
addition.
yeah, or one more piece of the pod chain.
Yeah.
I personally don't imagine that being that big of a deal. Just because you're paying like all the life in the world, and you need your pod to land, and your opponent does not have a removal spell, and all of those. And then the pod cards that are good against pod are still in the format too. Some of the cards that are good against like twin and elementals, right? Like Torpor Orb and such.
Yeah.
Needle.
Yeah. I mean, I'm currently of the opinion that I have a more strong opinion of pod than twin as far as the ban list. Where I actually think that pod really should not come off the ban list because, in my opinion, Yawgmoth is one of the best decks in the format that a lot of people just haven't taken the time to learn, but it's like constantly top 8ing. It won this last weekend's challenge, and I think giving Yawgmoth a huge buff with pod is a big mistake. But I'm also really interested to test it, so I'm looking forward to
and
that.
then I'm on the other end where I'm not really like sure how much of a buff pod would be for Yawgmoth, because I think Yawgmoth is also already extremely consistent, and I think that the cards that beat Yawgmoth, or the decks that beat it, aren't like necessarily weak to pod or what pod gives to the deck. But I think both of us are in a position where like if the pod deck's like 10-0 or 0-10 or whatever, like it could change our like actually playing some games could
Yeah, absolutely.
shift us one way or the other. And that's the fun thing about jamming games, the fun thing about testing.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks again. I know you're on well past your usual stream time. So do you have any like closing thoughts or anything you want to say?
No, I think we put a good ribbon on it. Just that this was really fun and cool, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
It was a lot of fun. There were some sweet games in there, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, raid you, and hope you have a good stream, dude.
Oh hell yeah! First, like crush me in the long series of matches, and then come share the love.
Yeah, the bending the knee.
Being good cop and bad cop here.
All right,
Awesome.
Later, dude. Have a good night.